Check popses1987.com.
We showed some grit in the second half last night. But that's something that needs to be cultivated, developed, bought into every single day. It's extremely competitive. We knew coming into this building where we've lost quite a bit that you can't come in here just trying to play a game or try to outscore them. You really have to have an edge about you. They're not an easy team to defend. And the better you embrace that, the less pressure takes off on your offense. And we're able to get some timely baskets there in the second half, but the identity of this game was a team toughness, particularly on the defensive end.
When you guys have won the rebounds, I think 9-1, 10-1, how important was that rebounding edge today?
Yeah, and what it shows you, it's great to have a stat like that. It's another thing to go about and do something about it, because it's not easy rebounding. First, you have to force the team to miss, and then secondly, nobody's just giving you rebounds. There were probably as many in traffic or up in a crowd rebounds tonight that guys were not just leaving it to Hassan, not leaving it to our big guys, tracking it down, pursuing it, long rebounds off the bounce, and those kind of efforts are what's required to win against a good team on the road.
After his bloody mouth and the 2 from the floor that you had to find, did you expect that Gordon was going to come back?
Well, he has a great toughness and grit to him that this team is just learning about right now. But there was no way he was going to miss any time. He said he's had many things that he's played through. They know as soon as he went back to the locker room, he said he'll be back. Trust me, he'll be back. So instead of a game ball, we had a game 2 tonight.
Okay. You talked last week about you guys that get to early offense, off of defensive stops. This pretty much a bit of what you're talking about. You may not run early offense.
Yeah, there was actually a handful of possessions in the fourth quarter where we did not do that, and then we weren't being aggressive. But yes, off our stops, if we're going to commit to being a physical defensive team, we want to get some easier opportunities off that. And it might be 3-on-3 situations going down the other end. It might be just situations where we flow into it, where you get the defense a little bit on their heels. So we don't have to face everybody's half-court defense where we're scouted and people know what we're trying to get to. And it was much better tonight.
Spo, last night, Dwayne lifts his teammates. Tonight, his teammates lift Dwayne. How nice was that to see? Tonight, Dwayne's little off. So many other guys. The whole cavalry comes over the hill.
Yeah, and you can hear the guys. It becomes inspiring for guys to go out there with your play, number one. You inspire somebody with your effort, your toughness, your grit. But then after that is your communication. And connecting with guys and trying to lift them up, trying to get them to focus on the moment, the next possession. And that was great tonight to see guys rally around that.
You saw that tonight. You saw it against Oklahoma City, but you talked about the commitment to it.
Yeah.
Is that the next step to commit to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody's trying to figure it out. You got Golden State, you got San Antonio. Right now, their records are cut above everybody. Basically, you got everybody else that's playing for the playoffs right now is trying to figure it out. And so that consistency while you're trying to form your identity and commit to it, it's tough because it's competitive out there.
The Nets have had a few games with Gerald and moved back to their regular spots. I'm assuming you're not anticipating 2018 and all that, but if they're going to give you that plus the defense, I imagine that's exactly how you thought you were going to have.
Yeah, Gerald gave us a tremendous boost off the bench on the second night. His energy was just as good as it was last night, so you couldn't even tell. There was a back-to-back for him. He's ignitable, so if he hits 2 or 3 shots, then he can hit them in bundles, and we needed that, particularly in the second half when guys were a little bit dead-legged, and we needed somebody just to create some end-of-offense opportunities. He was able to do that.
Defensively, the numbers were a lot better than last time you played Atlanta, but did it look better to you? Did it look like you guys were able to stay with them a little better?
Well, you never know how the game can look differently. If Corver hits, 3 or 4 of those threes, what you try to do is be right there with him every single time. And except for the one he hit in the fourth quarter, that was pretty much clean. The rest of the time we were there, and he's good enough to make those. I've seen him do it. This is not an easy team to defend, but the physicality, the 50-50 balls, the loose balls, the scraps underneath the basket, we were much more committed and physical in those areas tonight than we've been in the past with this team.
And the effort level from Hassan coming off yesterday?
It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He made so many defensive plays in that first half that were not just shot blocking. It was pick and roll defense, it was communication, it was sprinting back in transition. His motor was great. That's something we can definitely build on.
I suppose since you guys came out of camp, this group was interpersonally together. Did you feel an extra exuberance tonight? It's even with the guys walking on the floor, even hearing some of it flowing out of the locker room.
Yeah, this group is a group that likes each other. And you'd rather have that than the other. There's no question about it. I've been part of teams where guys didn't like each other. That doesn't translate necessarily into winning. You have to prove it on the court. You have to inspire each other on the court. You have to get to a point where you don't want to let guys down. But you have to go through some tough times to be able to get to that. And we've been frustrated with our last week, but we were able to bounce back in the last 2 nights. And you could see that the guys wanted to enjoy that because of some of the pain that we've been through.
I'm sorry I got here a little late. Goran getting a tooth knocked out.
Yeah.
The guy who's a pretty good impression of a hockey player coming back in before the period was over there.
Yeah, our team was comparing him and Tyler to Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. They both have had their teeth knocked out. And Goran, there was no question that he was coming back into the game. He didn't really think anything of it. He wanted to keep on playing. But that's what these kind of games in the Eastern Conference end up being about, is the physicality, standing up to that physicality. And we were able to get the win. It was great, but now we're going to have to move on and see if we can find that consistency.
HipHopsince1987.com.
Last season, you were in a very, very interesting but privileged position. You got to play with 4 out of this, let's say, the top 10 NBA players in the world.
Right.
Kyrie, LeBron, Westbrook, and KD. What's it like? What was it like playing with all 4 of them in one season? Like, what are some things you pick up? Break it down for us.
I mean, especially with LeBron, just coming in there, see how he work every day. The first one in the gym. How he take care of his body. That's why I was actually being around. We go out to eat, things like that.